I just felt passionate to become an advocate for children. I didn't want another mother to go through what I had to go through, that guilt. I wanted to warn as many mothers as possible, mothers, fathers, and I wanted to save as many children as possible. I'm Maija Hahn. I am a speech-language pathologist. I've been an autism specialist for over 28 years, and I am the events manager for a wonderful organization called Children's Health Defense. And I am the president of a nonprofit autism organization called R.E.A.C.T, Research and Education for Autistic Children's Treatment, reactforhope.org. And I am the mother of 3 vaccine-injured children.
Maija, it's my privilege and joy to be able to talk to you today. I'm just really glad you are working so hard to make a difference for our families. And I know we were talking earlier and you said that your mission, your heart is to save people or save children.
Save lives.
Save lives. Yeah, save lives. I love it.
As many lives as it possibly can.
I love that mission. Wow. And we're a life and family show. So help us know the start, your life. And do you have a faith journey?
Oh, yes, I have a faith journey.
Then take us up to the story we'll hear later.
Yeah. Well, you want my faith journey first, or
if that comes first,
Well, it did. It came before I even, started working. But I was actually raised by atheists. Never raised in the church. The only time I knew anything about church is because all of my friends in the neighborhood were gone on Sundays. I had nobody to play with. And I asked, where are they going? And I got to go a couple times to church. That was my only experience, And I learned about the Lord. The Lord saved me one day. It's quite the story. But he came to me, saved me. I fell off a 35-foot waterfall. Angels came upon me. The Lord, as I was descending down, the Lord stopped time and spoke to me. And he made me feel peace and to understand life. And it's okay that he was there. And it changed the rest of my life. Yeah. It's quite the story. I could tell you the whole thing. There was a lot of things that day, but from that day on, I no longer had any question about faith, and all I wanted to do was learn more. Wow. And the Lord brought me a wonderful Christian man who was very devout Christian and was patient with me as I studied and wanted to learn more. And he just brought so many people into my life and prepared me for the life that I was going to live, the unexpected life that I was going to live. To where I am today. But he's been, that path for me. And, I just keep walking through those doors that open to where I am and my mission. I truly believe that I am doing the work that the Lord wants me to do.
I believe that too. And how old were you when you fell? You fell down a 35-foot water.
And I was the first survivor of that waterfall in the history.
Wow. You have to tell us more. I broke my back. I'm sorry. We can't just leave that.
Okay. I'll tell you the whole story because it's very powerful. Yes. Okay. So there's a place in California. It's called the Teacups. It's in Kern County. And it's a waterfall, a pool, multiple waterfalls down this canyon to hike into. And at the top, a lot of people, the hikers will go and they'll play in the waters there. And I hiked down with some friends to the second and third pools, and there was this beautiful mist, and it was splashing off the rocks, and there was really nobody there because you hike in. It was kind of empty. I was 19 years old, and it was so pretty with the rainbows. I asked my friend, take my picture, and the waterfall's behind me, and nobody was there. nobody was on that waterfall with us. And I started to slip. And as I'm slipping, I'm going towards the edge. And we hadn't hiked lower. I had no idea how big this waterfall was, what was down below. And as I'm slipping, I try to turn and to stop myself. And suddenly there's a man that is on the edge of that waterfall, literally on the edge. And I said, help me, I cannot stop myself. And he pulls me enough that I launch off of where his feet were planted. It was a ledge. And that pull was enough to launch me out, which is the first miracle that saved my life, because there's a rock that protrudes outside this waterfall. And that's what normally people hit that have not survived. So I went out and looking up at the sky, this is the direction I'm falling. I can't turn, nothing. And that moment, time stood still. I'm sure it was just literally seconds, but I went through every single conscious emotion. You think of the 5 stages of grief, right? Where you go through denial and then fear and all of that till it was just a stopping of time and this warm love, this light of peace, comfort. It was a love so extraordinary I'd never experienced, could never have imagined, to just know that it didn't matter. It didn't matter what was coming. It was irrelevant, that the love of God was with me. And it was the most powerful moment. I just wish that everybody, when I really believe when we walk and we meet the Lord, that is what everyone's going to feel. There's no fear of death, because I felt that love. Anyway, I fall and there are rocks on the bottom. I land on the rocks, I break my back, and I land in a pool and it's a pool and there's current that's taking me towards the next fall, and my back's broken. I'm at barely my tippy toes and I can't really stop. So I'm heading this way. There's 2 gentlemen that were down at that pool. They'd been drinking. They didn't know that I was in distress and they were applauding. Right? I can't yell for help because the wind's knocked out of me, and all I can do is just try to stop myself. Their golden retriever jumps in the water, swims up to me, and I'm hanging on to the dog. And that's when they realize that I need help. They jump in, they pull me out. Okay, so dog number 2 miracle, right? Outside the miracle that the Lord came to me. But these were I really believe these were the angels that the Lord brought to make sure that I was going to get through this. And then we're there, and I realized there's something wrong with my back, because they kept saying, come out of the water, get out of the water. It's cold, you got to get out of the water. And I'm like, the weight as you get out of the water, you know how you get heavier? I knew something was going to be wrong. And I'm like, I can't get out of the water. There's something wrong. Miracle number 3, a solo hiker is an EMT, happens to be right there at that time, and says, I am a EMT and I'm going to help you. You're going to be okay. Oh, yeah. And, directed me, get out of the water, and laid me there as my friends hiked up to try to get help. Your new
friends that had been drinking?
No. My friends that were taking my picture up at the, so I was not
top
alone.
Friends.
Right. So they came down and they're like, we need medical evacuation. And there was no cell service in this canyon. So they're hiking out, trying to get cell service. They get up to the parking lot. There's still not cell service. And so they're like, well, we got to start driving to get to the cell service. For what we didn't know is my good friend, who was 3 hours away, had woken up in the middle of the night, and the Lord had impressed on him saying, you need to head to the mountains. And he just started driving. He woke up that morning and he just started driving, and he met them halfway. On the way down, my friends were looking for self-service. He was on the way up. He had a CB radio. He was able to call the helicopter that came and got me. And I'm healed. I don't have any repercussions.
How were you healed?
Well, it didn't paralyze me. It chipped and fractured my first lumbar, right? But and so there was some therapy, but I'm okay. Wow. I'm okay. And from that moment on, I was all just so curious. Where before I wasn't. I was raised by parents that didn't believe.
Oh, that's right. They were atheists.
Yes. So that, and from then it was a journey of exploring myself, exploring my faith, exploring the Bible and Jesus Christ and my Savior. I ended up getting baptized under a waterfall. So I get teary just thinking about it. But
how soon after did you get baptized?
oh, it was about 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
The people that you saw, did you see them again?
Never.
The EMT.
Never.
And you have witnesses then, your friends, and
Yeah.
you have witnesses. They saw it as well.
Right.
And the two that were drinking,
Yes.
they pulled you out?
They wanted to pull me out, but I was refusing
Oh, that's right,
Because I
because
was
you were
worried.
hurting. And then the EMT came and,
and convinced me to get out of the water.
wow. Did he have like equipment or he just,
I don't think so. I mean, probably had a backpack. I mean, I was in distress at that point. So
so when he called for help, they came and helped you and got you out?
he stayed with me while my friends hiked up and then drove down, called the paramedics, and the emergency first came to the mountain.
Yes.
And then they tried to hike down and they realized that they weren't going to get me. And that's when they had to call a helicopter. And I was airlifted out through the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of that story where God says, I sent a boat, a thing in a helicopter. Didn't you know that was me? You really had a helicopter come save you. I sent you 500 angels. And then,
Right. Yes.
wow, I'm so glad.
So take us from that story.
God is love, and love comes from God. In 1 John, the Bible tells us that God is not only all-loving, but that He actually is love itself. The heart of the Parent Compass television show is to bring the transforming love of God to families everywhere. In every Parent Compass episode, true stories reveal family struggles and how their lives were radically changed by the love of God. Parent Compass, an award-winning television series, is completely funded by people like you. If you have been touched by God and you want to share God's love to others, would you please pass it on? Jesus tells us to go into all the world and to tell about Him. With your donation, you allow us to take this television show into many different nations and in many different languages, free of charge. And a portion of your donation goes to Parent Compass Outreach to feed starving children. Your gift does so much. To make your tax-deductible gift, go to parentcompass.tv/donate. That's parentcompass.tv/donate. And thank you for sending love and hope around the world.